Everyone, welcome to this lesson. And this is the part 3 of JavaScript object display that we've been talking about. We've talked about how you can use name to access object properties. We've talked about how you can use loop to access object property. And we've talked about two very important methods when working with objects in JavaScript: the object.values that allows you to loop, and the object.entries using for in and for off loop with each of these methods. And the concept of what we were taught in the last lesson. In this particular lesson, we are going to be taking a look at JSON.stringify in JavaScript. The values for objects, how you can pass them in order to make them accessible for use in your code. So that is the concept of what we are going to be taking a look at in this particular lesson. JavaScript objects can be converted with JSON method. So this JSON stringify is a method as well in JavaScript. And what it does is that it allows objects to be converted to a string. Because you cannot use object values directly, you always need to convert it into a string before you can use them. And that is where this JSON stringify method comes in. It allows you to pass or to convert the object value into a string. Now, it is a method that is included in JavaScript, and it is supported in all modern browsers such as the Chrome, the Firefox, Safari, or even Opera Mini. All these modern browsers, Edge by Microsoft, so they support this particular method that we are talking about, which is the JSON stringify. And let's just take a look at how it can convert an object value into a string. So let me pull up my code editor, and then I'm going to just take this for loop out because we are not going to be needing it. And I will make a fresh object for person. And the person is going to have a name. And I can just assign this. I can assign this variable this way. Like I've always done, I can assign it to a variable like this, person. And since I want to if you see the output of this, you will see objects, which is one of the things we've discussed earlier. Like if you try to access an object directly without either through a name or any of the four solutions that we've talked about. Now, for this JSON, for this object name, I want to pass it. I want to convert the values from this object into a string, and that is where the use of the JSON.stringify comes into play. So I'll just wrap my object into a bracket like this, and this way you will see that I've been able to pass my object values directly. And take a look at it. What you can see that the output contains curly braces and then individual keys and value. Key name, bookie, age 26, city, Carolina. So you can see that the JSON stringify has these object values and is giving it to me in a string format. And the way you know that it's a string format is take a look of all these codes around each of the properties and each of the values that is given out on the browser. This is how you get to know that your object value has been converted into a string. Now, the purpose of why you might want to need the string JSON stringify as a developer is for the following reason. If you want to send something to a server as an API, if you want to send an object value, let's say the subject value you want to send it to a server as an API, using the JSON stringify is one way to pass it in order to be able to get your output as a string. And another thing is that let's say you want to do something that involves that you store something in local storage. Storing object values directly to storage will not work, but passing it to JSON.stringify will allow this to work in your code. And the last thing is that it allows your object value to be displayed in HTML safely. Look at the output that we got. You can see that it is translated into us into an HTML format safely. And then you might want to ask that why is this JSON stringify useful? Why is it useful? And like I said, that objects can be directly stored or sent. Just like I gave an instance of an API earlier, a string. You can't directly store or send objects as string unless it is passed or unless it is converted using the JSON stringify, which is one of the usefulness of it. And also the other usefulness is that it is universal. Even other language can read it, like Java, Python, etc. They can read it and then convert it back into object. So it's like a universal method in JavaScript that other languages even understand and read and convert it back into object. So this is how you use the JSON stringify method in JavaScript to pass your object value and convert it into a string. Since objects can be directly stored or save as strings in JavaScript. So this is a workaround. It when it comes to having to work with the result or the values of an object as an API or something that needs to be stored locally or sent. So the JSON stringify is what make all these things possible by allowing you to pass the outputs and then convert it into a string that JavaScript can work with or any other programming language. Probably maybe you are having to work with API or something like that. So this is how the JSON stringify method in JavaScript helps you to pass your object values and convert it into a string. Thank you. And in the next lesson, I'll see you.